Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your weekly dose of college football, where I react to the latest happenings in college football via Instagram posts. Now, guys, I thought we would start with some hot takes here. NC State makes a New Year's Six Bowl. You know, while it's a hot take, I actually like that one considering how bad the ACC is. Don't think it's going to happen, but it's an interesting one. Jim Harbaugh will step down midway through the season. Don't think that's going to happen. That's really not how Michigan does things. Michigan would have to be like 1-5, and Harbaugh would have to be completely miserable for that to happen. Washington wins the Pac-12. Love that hot take. The Pac-12 is wide open. Washington has a phenomenal defense, guys. If you didn't know, they're returning a lot of starters. They have a solid football program. Again, you've got a team like Oregon, really questionable offense. Really good on defense, Oregon, questionable offense, starting probably Anthony Brown. The transfers from BC, we'll have to see there. And more hot takes. LSU is not the best team in Louisiana this year, so the Louisiana Raging Cajuns have definitely been getting some hype. I don't agree with that. I think LSU is going to have a really nice rebound, 9 or 10 win season, possibly top 15 team. Penn State bounces back, wins 10 games. I love Penn State this year to bounce back. They're a solid program. I've got a lot of respect. As an Ohio State fan, I've got a lot of respect for James Franklin and that program they've built. Every year I always look for the Penn State game because it is the game that scares me the most. And once again, this year, even though we get Penn State at home, that game scares me the most. Penn State bounce back season. Little disrespected in the coaches poll yesterday, being ranked 20th. They're a top 15 team. Give me a break on that. UCLA wins 9+ games, finishes in the top 20. Not seeing that one. You've got the Doriel Thompson Robinson kid, but I'm not seeing that take there. Indiana does not finish. They spelled finish wrong. Top 3 in the Big Ten East. I agree with that 100%. I am not buying Indiana. They have a very, very tough schedule. Very tough. I think they have Iowa and do they face Notre Dame? I believe they do in non-conference. They've got a very tough schedule at Penn State versus Ohio State, at Michigan. It is a tough, Michigan State, people say Michigan's bad. You go to the Big House, it's not a joke. It's a tough place to play. Okay, I understand Michigan, where they were 2-4 last year. They're not great. They're not a terrible team. So Indiana, very tough schedule, along with being a little bit overrated. You've got a program not used to high expectations. I think Indiana's going to be a complete bust this year. Most overrated, underrated teams in every conference, the ACC. Oh, yeah, Miami. The only reason Miami is getting so much hype is because they face Alabama week 1, and ESPN is trying to drum up that game as much as they can, when in reality, Miami's 19-point underdogs against the first-year starting quarterback, Bryce Young, who I don't think he started a game. And they're still 19-point underdogs. BC, underrated, I agree with that. Tulsa's an interesting team. Tulsa faces Ohio State, and they were ranked towards the end of last year. I don't know how much talent they return. I really wouldn't say Michigan is overrated, considering everyone thinks they suck. Texas, I love Bijan Robinson, though. TCU is an underrated team. How about Minnesota? Guys, I'm getting a little bit more and more nervous about that Ohio State-Minnesota game as an Ohio State fan. You've got a Minnesota team, returning veteran cornerback Tanner Morgan, really good running back in Ibrahim. Sure, the defense isn't great. They lose Rashard Bateman. That's a sneaky tough week 1 game for a first-year starting quarterback, CJ Stroud, who hasn't thrown a foot pass in college football. Obviously, Ohio State has a crazy quarterback room right now with Quinn Ewers, the number 1 overall recruit, reclassifying to 2021 and entering the fray to go along with another true freshman, Cal McCord, and a redshirt freshman, CJ Stroud. So they've got a massive clog there, and I've discussed that. We'll have to see how that plays out. Speaking of Ohio State, chances to win each game. The interesting thing you'll notice here, the lowest % chance to win is actually at Michigan. And the reason it is the lowest is because it's an away game. Obviously, if we were playing at Penn State, it would be less than 82% chance. At the FPI factors all of this in. This is the Football Power Index. How about Akron, 99.7? I think we'll be like 46-point favorites over Akron. Tulsa, 96. Maryland, 90. I mean, pretty much every game is over 80% for Ohio State. So I just thought that was interesting to look at that. Current college football recruiting tiers. This is really interesting. I am really heavily involved in following college football recruiting. So tier 1, definitely Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia, those definitely for sure. LSU, you could argue bottom tier 1, top tier 2. Clemson, you could argue they should be in tier 1. Oklahoma should probably be at the top of tier 2, not tier 1 yet. A&M has also really started to recruit well. I think Michigan probably could be at the bottom of tier 2 as well. They always seem to have top 10 classes. Maybe Penn State, although they had a down class last year. But yeah, to me, the three main superpowers in terms of college football recruiting are Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State, and then LSU gets mixed in there along with Clemson. Clemson really doesn't take big classes, but their classes have been really elite recently. Now, guys, this post completely triggered me. This is the conference rankings. Okay, SEC 1, Big Ten 2. The ACC over the Big 12. You got to be kidding me. There's no way. Guys, I did a video ranting about Clemson's pathetic schedule. The ACC is so horrific this year. It's not even funny. It's just, I don't understand. I really don't understand how you could rank the ACC over the Big 12. The Big 12 is really actually impressive. Even if you think Texas isn't that good, you've got teams like Oklahoma State who are decent. You've got teams like TCU who are solid football programs, and then obviously Oklahoma. There are solid teams in the Big 12. How about Iowa State? I mean, like, there's no logical way you could rank the ACC above the Big 12. That was a horrific graphic. Top 10 teams most likely to go undefeated. Obviously, Clemson's going to be first, not because, they're the best team, although they might be the best team, but really because they have the easiest schedule. Ohio State, Oklahoma, Alabama playing that tough SEC schedule comes in at 4, and those are really the top 4 that have any sort of chance. Notre Dame, there's no way Notre Dame's going undefeated. There's no way A&M. Georgia, I'm surprised Georgia's that low. I guess they have that Clemson game to start the season, but they really do have an easy schedule out of the SEC East this year. How about App State? You love seeing it with App State. Top 10 college football defensive players since 2010. They have Chase Young first. I really do think Chase Young could have won the Heisman if he didn't get suspended those 2 games or had to sit out those 2 games. Manti Te'o. Yeah, Manti Te'o was a beast. I mean, say what you want about his girlfriend and stuff. That dude was a beast. Clowney. See, the 2 that I really don't agree with are Clowney and Joey Bosa. Both Jadeveon Clowney and Joey Bosa had really bad junior years. I think they both had 3 sacks their junior year. So you can say, yeah, they've been, Jadeveon Clowney had that massive hit his sophomore year against Michigan in the Outback Bowl. That was great. Everyone remembers him for that. Joey Bosa, obviously a top, 5 overall pick in the draft. Really good NFL career. But yeah, those 2 guys I don't agree with. Jeff Okudah was a beast, but he really only started 1 year. I would put Jalen Ramsey in front of Jeff Okudah, just based on the fact that he started more. But yeah, Chase Young was so dominant, and then he got freaking suspended those 2 games. I'd honestly put Manti Te'o first, though. It's close with those 2. This is ESPN's preseason top 25. Really, no surprises here. It's just, really the first 3 teams are pretty much always going to be the same, and then it's going to be, do you put Georgia or Ohio State 4th and 5th? And then obviously A&M. You've got a team. I'm surprised how high Oregon is getting ranked. I guess that's good for Ohio State, considering, they'll be a propped up team if Ohio State beats them. Again, Penn State being ranked lower than Miami. I mean, what is that? Dude, Miami is so overhyped because they face Alabama week 1. Oh, now this is a really funny Twitter account. No context college football. Hawaii, 14 plays, negative 11 yards. Yeah, that could happen legitimately. People were saying, that's a misprint or whatever, or not like a miss on the graphic. No, if you have like a bad snap where the quarterback has to fall on it, you lose 20 or 30 yards, maybe you have a massive sack. That legitimately could happen. 14 plays, negative 11 total yards offense. This is just Chip Kelly with ESPN. I don't even know why I have this on here. Dude, I remember when I wanted Ohio State to hire Chip Kelly as our offensive coordinator. I mean, he was an innovator, man, at Oregon. You remember that first year he had with the Eagles? Oh my goodness. Mark Sanchez, he literally resurrected Mark Sanchez for a year. Mark Sanchez had a good year with the Eagles. Look it up. Chip Kelly's first year. I think they went 10-6. But after that, it was a disaster. This is hilarious. So this was before the Big Ten announced, or this was before Oklahoma and Texas announced that they were leaving. Look at this. With powers on top and plenty of sleepers, the Big 12 is back. After a year of transition, the Big 12 is back and perhaps better than ever. Yeah, there's a little bit more transition going on. The 2 top teams in the conference are going to be leaving. Oh, it's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. I just took a picture of this. This is Appalachian State's campus. I just thought it looked so beautiful. Like, guys, imagine an autumn day, 55 degrees, 10 a.m., The fall leaves are out. Oh my God. You've got apple cider, candy corn. You got that crispness in the crisp just air. Oh my goodness. You guys know. That's an orgasmic experience right there, folks. That's an orgasmic experience. If you know, you know. If you're someone out there that's like, you like 95 degrees, ooh, I love the beach, I love 95-degree weather, you're not going to relate to it. You're not. If you know, you know. 55 degrees. Look at that beautiful campus. Autumn, it's October 25th. There's Halloween decorations everywhere around campus. Appalachian State plays a 3:30 game. You're tailgating. Oh my goodness. You got the candy corn. You got the apple cider, man. It's just the autumn time, guys. It's a crazy feeling. It really is. So the coaches poll came out. I'm going to wait for the AP preseason poll the next week, but the coaches poll, really, not really any surprises. Ohio State's actually ranked ahead of Georgia in this one. No surprises in the top 10, maybe North Carolina a little bit high. Then 11 through 20, Oregon sitting at 12. Again, not understanding why Miami's at 16. I would not have them ranked. Penn State is underrated at 20. How about this? With college football just 18 days away, I present to you the 2021 college football all-name team. How about Tank Bigsby? He's a beast, man. He's probably the best name on this list. But guys, look at the defensive line. Fish McWilliams. Dude, Storm Duck, the DB. Man, he should have went to Oregon. But look at the DB at the bottom. New Zealand Williams. That's unfortunate for the kid. Who names their kid New Zealand? Good Lord. The best one is Fish McWilliams, though. You can't beat that one. It's the best one by far. So this is interesting. This is a former 5-star, top 5 overall recruit, Jack Sawyer. If you guys aren't aware, he got, due to the name, image, likeness thing, he got a massive truck via Mark Wahlberg's dealership in Columbus, Ohio. He plays for Ohio State. Guys, Ohio State signed two, probably the best tandem pass rushers, that in recruiting history. They literally signed 2 top 5 overall players in the 2021 class. Oh yeah, and Quinn Ewers. So that's 3 top since Quinn Ewers reclassified. It's crazy, dude. Jack Sawyer is going to be better than the Bozas. I'm telling you that right now. I don't know if he'll be better than Chase Young. That dude is bulked up. He is a beast. Get him on some gear or something. My God. Dude went through a crazy bulking phase. But guys, I just love an elite defensive line. Ohio State, I'm so fired up for Ohio State this year. I admit our secondary is terrible. I agree. But the defensive line, dude, Larry Johnson, oh, I love it. You've got Tyreek Smith. You've got Zach Harrison. You've got Haskell Garrett on the interior. Former 5-star Taron Vincent. Oh my goodness, guys. And then you've got the 2 freshmen, JTT and Jack Sawyer. I love it, guys. I absolutely love it. It's going to be so fun watching Ohio State. Even though our secondary is awful, I admit that. But it's the defensive line. Even last year, Ohio State had one of the best defensive lines in college football, according to PFF. But the secondary was so bad. We had one of the best pressure rates, but we would never get any sacks because the secondary couldn't cover anyone. The quarterbacks would always be getting the ball out of their hands too fast. Another quick recruiting update. Arch Manning is going to be the new number 1 overall recruit in 2023. He takes over the top spot. When the 247 Sports Composite will update, he will be the new number 1. Rivals ranked him number 1 on their site. Obviously, you look at his connections there. Uncle Peyton Manning, Uncle Eli Manning, grandfather Archie Manning. So crazy connections. I don't know if this kid's really that good or if the recruiting sites are really just going by his connections and his bloodline. But I do have some inside info on Arch Manning. I've seen some things behind paywalls, things like that. Some, inside info on Arch Manning's recruitment. Apparently, he's a lock to go to Clemson. So I would love him to go to Ole Miss or some no-name place, but apparently he's, I'm not saying Ole Miss is a no-name place. I should take that back, but they're not a great school. I don't want to see him at Clemson, but apparently he's a lock to go to Clemson, according to some insiders. And then another guy, Travis Shaw, the number 3 overall recruit in 2022, is going to be announcing his commitment. I believe, I forgot what, it's coming up soon, but I believe he will be going to the University of North Carolina, which I love. As long as he doesn't go to Clemson, that would be great. So it looks like Travis Shaw, the number 3 overall recruit, big defensive lineman, clogger in the middle. What a win that would be for Mac Brown and company at North Carolina if they're able to get him. He is from North Carolina. So that would be a home state win for North Carolina. You heard it here first. Arch Manning, pretty much a lock to Clemson. At least that's what I've heard, behind various paywalls, things like that, recruiting insiders saying it. And then you've got Travis Shaw, who's announcing soon possibly going to North Carolina. So those are just some recruiting updates, guys. This was the third rendition of your weekly dose of college football, guys. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I am, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.